I imagine most of viewers of this conversation will be familiar with Huawei, which
Yep.
is a Chinese telecommunications company that was um, the world's largest provider of fifth generation wireless networks, 5G.
Australia was the first country in the world to
That's
actually say
exactly right.
no.
Exactly right. Um, well, that is an example of the type of civil military fusion I'm talking about. So what happened was, over the course of a decade or so, Huawei built real technology. Its 5G networks were real. I mean, they're decent, they're good, they worked. Um, but one, they developed them by stealing intellectual property from around the world. Telecommunications company in the United States, in Britain, in Australia, elsewhere. And that's how they built their technology base for these 5G networks. But then the Chinese government subsidized Huawei so that it could then go around the world offering to build these networks at a third of the cost of anybody else. What that allowed Huawei to do is to proliferate significantly its footprint globally. And then the Chinese government's idea was then, as these networks proliferate and become present and take a hold in these other countries, we will then leverage those networks as a means of espionage. So all of the information, all the bits and bytes that travel over those networks, by law now, are made available to the Chinese government. And so you see how government and industry worked cooperatively. The government subsidized Huawei so that it could then kind of grow its footprint. Huawei then used that large footprint to bring data back to the Chinese government and also to buy economic influence and geopolitical influence and all kinds of other things. That is just an example of a much broader strategy of how the CCP thinks about and leverages its entire economy and particularly its technological industry.